What's going on, people? Welcome to the LV Live Show. I'm LV Live. Please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Once again, I want to thank all the new subscribers for coming by to my channel, man. It is truly, truly appreciated. As you saw by last night's score, the boys lost last night on the road in game 3 of the playoffs to the Philadelphia 76ers, 125 to 114, right? We all understand Joel Embiid's greatness, right? We no need for us to go in and kind of give him his props about that. We know that, man. Like, we understand who he is. I had him to win the MVP again this year, especially after him putting up a 70 piece this year, man. He's unguardable when he's healthy, right? He's really, really, really that good. Let's just be honest. But what he's been doing as of late, man, and not even to say as of late, just last night was really, 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 really atrocious. Like, it was really bad. And it's not basketball, man. It's not basketball. Anybody that's in the chat, anybody that's here, leave in the comments, put a thumbs up if you play hoops before. There are certain things, right, that are just like unspoken rules in basketball. Like, it's just certain things you just do not do. Like, it's just an understanding. Like, it just is. And so what I felt is that he broke one of the cardinal rules and one of the unspoken rules in basketball. And what you don't do, which is like totally like number one at the top of the list, is to like the low bridge somebody or to, excuse my language, damn near grab somebody out of the air and slam them onto the ground from their legs. That's what you don't do. You got to think of injuries. You got to think of a whole bunch of things that could happen. And people want to say like, oh, well, it can't be that bad. Okay, killing until it happens. Once again, the reason why I stress, like, if you've played hoops before, because people know, right? I've been in games where I've seen that happen. I've seen guys get low bridge, and I've seen guys dislocate shoulders. I've seen guys break wrists. I've seen a lot of different things. And I've even heard of other situations where guys have fallen back from getting low bridge, fell on their back or their neck, and been knocked unconscious. Chase Supreme, man, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through, rocking with LV Live for this lunchtime special. So I've seen things like that happen. Really dangerous plays when you low bridge somebody. Those are unspoken rules. Like, like once a guy goes up, he's going up for a dunk. If you want to block him at the rim, you block him at the rim. No way, excuse my language, in hell do you go for his legs and you clip him at the bottom to where he could possibly lose his balance, excuse my language, damn near kill himself because he's falling on his head and he can't stop himself. What Embiid did last night, that takes the cake. Like, that I don't even care about the 50-point game. Like, I don't even care about that. He better be glad like there wasn't a full-out brawl on that court. Old school Knicks, like old school, there would have been a fight last night. It'd have been Miami Heat times 10. It would have been the Malice in the Palace. It would have been one of those type of deals for what he did last night. Because when you do stuff like that, what you're basically doing is you're basically trying to hurt somebody. You're not trying to make a hard foul to send a message. Like, no, you're not trying to do that. You're not tugging on a jersey like they were complaining about in the last game. You're not doing that. What you're doing is really, truly, intentionally trying to hurt somebody. People say, oh, he wasn't trying to hurt. He wasn't trying to hurt him. But see, once again, these are probably people that don't even play ball, man. They don't play or they've never played. To understand, like I've spoken about the unspoken rules. If a guy's going up for a dunk or a layup, you don't go after his legs. And what he truly did was when Mitch went up, he yanked at his legs, twisted him, threw him on the ground, and then pushed him. There's no way in hell, man, that's okay. And you get a pass for that. And anybody in Philly, anybody that's kind of like giving him a thumbs up for that, man, you guys are suckers for that, man. Anybody that's giving him an okay for that, like, oh, well, I didn't think it was that bad, or look what the Knicks did last game. Like, if anybody does not see the difference from that and what happened in game 2, should not be talking basketball, should not be talking sports, anything like that. They should just be quiet. Because certain things are just unacceptable, man. There's certain things you just do not do at all. Okay, yeah, that didn't lead to Mitch hurting his ankle. Cool. But that's not the point. The point is that it could have led to something bad. Knock on wood. He could have torn his ACL. He could have broke his other leg. You don't know. That's why you don't do stuff like that. So to see the league not eject him for that, okay, fine. Fine. No problem. The problem with that is, and I'm not saying that they will, but the problem with that is that you leave room now for retaliation from players. Like you leave that open now. That's where the whole thing with baseball, right? Give you a perfect example. If you in baseball, if you throw at Aaron Judge after last game, you guys are playing a double header or a triple header or whatever it is in baseball, playing 3 games in 3 days. You throw at Aaron Judge's legs because last game he hit 2 home runs off of your pitcher. You say, okay, I'm gonna send a message to the Yankees that their star player is not gonna be hitting home runs on us. So I'm gonna throw it at his legs. And it's purposely done. And the rules in baseball is like, okay, you hit our star player, we're gonna hit yours. So if Vladimir Guerrero gets up and I don't know, you Clark Schmidt, you name the pitcher, throws at his head, 98 miles per hour fastball straight at Vladimir Guerrero's head and hits him. You know what's going to happen in baseball? It's going to be a full-out brawl. It's going to be a fight, period. In hockey, if you take out one of their guys, one of their star players, and knocks them unconscious, you know what they're going to do? They're going to have a full-out fight. In football, if you purposely are trying to injure one of their players, there's going to be a full-out, there's going to be flags all over the place on the field. They're going to have a full fight. Guys going to be grabbing that face mask, tearing that face mask. I've even seen fights after games where guys have put on their helmets and walked over to another player and punched them on the bench. I've seen stuff like that happen. You know why? Because you can't do things to try to end a guy's career. This is how he makes his livelihood. This is how he feeds his family. These are the things that these guys do. This is bigger than basketball, man. Because these guys get traded and get on different teams. Sometimes they retire, they move on with their lives. This is bigger than sports. You don't try to destroy my career because you mad because things ain't going your way. So that's what I mean by the unspoken rules. There's certain things you just don't do. And I think that he lost all respectability, man, for that. For that. Like people making the comparisons with him and Draymond Green. And, Draymond is on a totally different level, right? Let's be honest. But does this kind of fall underneath that umbrella a little bit? A bit. And the reason why I say a bit is because it's the intent. It's the intent. You can't do anything dirty like that and then say, okay, well, he didn't really mean it. What are you talking about? He didn't really mean it. Oh, it's not that bad. Or you just don't do it, man. Oh, yeah, I undercut a guy. Yeah, he fell and bust his head open, but he didn't get knocked unconscious. He just broke his shoulder. It's like it wasn't that. It's just this. It's just that. It's all excuses, man. And there's certain things that just should not be allowed. If I'm the NBA, and I know a lot of people want to say, "Oh, they see," and this is the society. This is the craziness of society at times, which I don't agree with, but it just is, right? We have to be honest here on the LV Live show. I would suspend Embiid for next game. I would. I don't care about the ratings because they can get the ratings back someplace else. But I need to do that as the league to send a message that that's unacceptable. We can't do that in this league because by not doing anything and doing little flagrant fouls, because after he did that, it wasn't like he stopped there. And then he started kneeing iHeart, and he got it. I think didn't he get a tech for that or something like that? Like he got something else for that. Like he just was kneeing iHeart doing dirty stuff throughout the game. But that's the point that I'm trying to make. You got to send a message that that's unacceptable. Because if not, you're going to leave the door open, or the perception that it's okay for star players to do whatever they want because we want ratings. So because we want ratings and we want things to go right, no. You can do whatever you want. We won't kick you out the game. So you can clothesline somebody and knock them out, and we'll just let you guys play. It'll be cute. Let's give them a flagrant one because of our ratings. If it's a hard foul, I don't care, man. It's okay. The Knicks, we don't have issues with that. And even me as a player, I don't have a problem with a hard foul. I'll give you a perfect example. Maxey pushed off Josh Hart and tried to get the ball and Brunson tugged on his jersey. That's basketball plays, man. That's basketball plays. You give a guy a hard foul, he's trying to go to the layup, and you hack him on the arm real quick when you try to hold him up from falling on the ground. To me, that's regular. That's regular hoop stuff, man. There's nothing wrong with that. It's hoops. But when you purposely go out your way to try to hurt somebody by low bridging them or grabbing them at the legs, that says something different. It truly, truly does. And it's weird because I watched the game, of course, but it was really hard to kind of really watch. And I thought the Knicks played great. I'll be honest with you. I thought they played great. But it was really hard to watch, man, because I kept on going back to that because once again, it's the player in me. I can't help it. It's the basketball player in me. And I could not take myself away from what happened in that first quarter. And I was like, you guys allowing him to play. I'm going to use a perfect example, right? It's very eerily similar to, and I'm going off the deep end, but I'm just saying, like, it's hard. It's just hard to take your eyes away because you're thinking about it. It's kind of very similar to what Will Smith did to Chris Rock, right? And I know people will be, oh, LV, you bugging. I'm just trying to give you an example here. Stay with me. When he did that to Chris Rock, it was like, all right, cool. You got your speech, you got your award, but it's kind of hard to watch because you're like, yo, man, did you see what this guy just did? Maybe like 10 minutes ago? You guys are just going to sit here and let him just get an award and just walk off? Guys got to do something about that. You can't let that rock like that. That can't happen. Like, so it's the same thing here. Did you see what this guy just tried to do to this other player like 20 minutes ago? You guys gonna let him sit out here and play? Okay. So I'm not surprised he scored 50 points. I'm not surprised. I mean, listen, the guy, we know how good he is. It's not a fluke. He is, when it comes to top tier players, he is at the top of the list. Let's be honest, okay? Let's not take that away from the guy. He is top tier, period. But players have to be held accountable. They have to be. And if it's not, you're going to have a very, very tough league, right? Shall I say? I'll use those words. And you're going to give the perception that players can get away with anything as long as you're one of the star players. Gravity, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through, rocking with LV Live. So yeah, man. So that's my rant on that, right? Now, outside of that, going to the game, I thought the Knicks played exceptional. I thought they really did. Outside of that third quarter, where you know the Sixers just went nuts from three, right? I think it was a sequence where they hit like 4 or 5 threes in a row or something like that. I could be getting my numbers wrong, please, but it was a sequence where Cameron Payne came down and hit one, Joel Embiid hit one, then Maxey hit one, then Embiid hit another one. It was just like back to back, and the lead was just climbing. So they would be up by 1, and the Knicks would score. Then they would hit another 3, be up by 2. Then the Knicks would miss. Then they would hit another 3, be up by 5. Then the Knicks would score. Then they would hit 3. So it was like one of those. So before you know it, the Knicks were down by 8 or 9. And that's the ball game. If I believe, I think they scored 43 points, I believe, in that third. I think it was something on those lines. It's about 43 points they scored in that third. So let me just make sure. Let me get the numbers right. LV, I don't play with the numbers, man. I want to make sure I got the number. I'm right. Look at that. Off the dome, man. 43 points in that third. So that's the ball game. But all in all, the Knicks were there, man. The Knicks were there. They were leading in half. In parts of that third quarter, they were up by 2 with 66-64. Knicks. And then that's when they just went on that 3-point barrage. They were like, I think they were 9 for 12 in that third. And with him scoring 50 points. But without that 50 points, let's say he scores 30, the Knicks win that game. Knicks win that game. We only lost by 9. With him scoring 50 points. And with the free throw dispersion, the Knicks didn't even shoot out, I believe, maybe 20 free throws. He shot 21 himself. In the first quarter, Mitch had 2 fouls, and Einhart had 2 fouls. So, I mean, we already knew which direction the game was going to go. Right? But the Knicks didn't bat an eye. They pretty much said, okay. They bit down on their chin strap, as they say in football. Excuse me, that's your mouthpiece. Same thing they say in boxing. You bite down on that mouthpiece, meaning you get your grit together, you get that grind ready, you get ready for war, right? So you say, okay, cool. It's going to be a tough game. we can handle it. And I thought the Knicks persevered for a very good amount of the game, right? Until, like I said, that third quarter barrage by the 76ers. But all in all, I thought the Knicks played really, really well. I love the fight that they had. Also, too, even when they were down, they fought back. OG Anobi's three in the corner cut it down to 105 to 113. Them being down 8. So they were in striking distance. A couple of turnovers here and there. But I honestly thought that the Knicks still had an opportunity to win, even with Embiid hitting that 50 piece. Now, the beauty of this, too, though, in this loss, is we saw the return of Jalen Brunson, right? He looked like Brunson yesterday. He truly did. That's a great sign for us. Because now he's figuring out how to break down his defense and kind of get into his rhythm. And that's the beauty of him. That's just why he's just so good. Like it took him a minute to kind of say, okay, I see what they're doing. Now, if I'm Nick Nurse, I'm worried because I'm happy that we won. And B played extraordinary, right? And playing like the MVP that he was. He did the Mark Messier guarantee. He did all that stuff. So now it's like you got to back it up, right? So now you did that. This is going to be the toughest game of the series for both teams because now the Knicks are jockeying for position because if they get this win, we go back to the Garden to close it out. The Sixers need to tie this up to guarantee a Game 6 in Philadelphia. They need that. If they don't, I think the Knicks seal a deal in the Garden, which I think the game is on Tuesday. So that's the importance of Game 4, which I always thought was going to be the toughest game in the series. You know, when you go back, when you're playing home and home, you know, that's always tough, right? You kind of get the feel for it, right? But that fourth game, when it's like the deciding game, because in that fourth game, you're either somebody's up 2-1 in that fourth game, or someone's up 3-0, right? So right now, currently, the Knicks are up 2-1 with an opportunity to because whenever you go on the road and you're playing in the playoffs, you always want to steal one. If you're able to get 2, fabulous. But if you steal 1, you did what you were supposed to do. The Knicks can steal Sunday, and we're heading back to the Garden with the opportunity to close it out in 5. That's why I think Game 4 is going to be the toughest game in the series. And so I think that it's going to be a tough fight. But from what I saw, if I'm Nick Nurse, I'm a little worried because I'm like, listen, man, I can't expect Embiid to score 50 every night. He's got the skill set to do so, but we may not get the favorable whistle. He may be off that day or whatever goes on. The Knicks are going to come out ready to go. So we got to kind of plan and scheme for that because I can't expect a Herculean, performance from him. And then not for nothing, I don't know what I'm going to get from these other guys. Because Buddy Hield gave you nothing once again. And the Tobias Harris gave you, and it didn't really give you much, right? The guy that came really gave you something was Oubre was pretty solid, and so was Payne coming off the bench, right? So those guys were pretty big. So you got to hope that you get that production from those guys. Maxi's been Maxi this series. He's been amazing, right? And Embiid's been Embiid. But those other guys are the key, right? And if they're not coming to play, they're going to have a problem beating the Knicks. I thought the Knicks pretty much had a really good chance to win this game. So I think, Game 4 is a deciding factor. I think that's going to be the key, and I think they'll play well. We got to see exactly what the status of Mitch is going to be. That's something to be a little concerning, to be honest with you. I don't know. He left with that walking boot. There was reports that I think Deuce said that Mitch's spirits were high. So remember, they played last night. So he's got last night. He's got today. He's got tomorrow. Then they play Sunday. I think they play in the afternoon game. So he's got basically 2.5 days to kind of get his leg right? His ankle. So hopefully they can ice it up, heal it up, and he'll be ready to contribute some minutes. But the beauty of the Knicks is that even with him doing that, we still have Precious Achiuwa, right? Who showed signs, man. He played really well. I thought he was great coming off the bench. Had a couple of good dunks, a couple of block shots there. Precious looked solid. So even though he's going to have to match up against Embiid, because Embiid's not the bully that he is, he's stuck really outside, just hitting jump shots with a couple of inside moves. But we can spell iHeart and with Precious Achua to where we can kind of have some type of stability. I thought when Precious came in playing as Paul Reed was great. They're about the same size, same athleticism, so I wasn't really too worried about that. And it gave iHeart a time to rest while Embiid was out. So that's what if Mitch can't go, if I'm Tibbs, that's what I'm doing, matching those minutes, right? iHeart, Embiid, Paul Reed, Precious Achua. That's kind of like how I'm doing that. One thing I do want to see is I want to see Dante get up more shots. He only had five points. I think he only shot a couple of times, maybe 7 times. I think we got to get him firing. We got to get him, getting some shots up. That dunk that he had, man, right before the half was ferocious on Maxey and Embiid right there in the middle. Ferocious. You forget how athletic the flamethrower is, man, at times. But that was a great play. I thought Josh Hart once again played well. So all in all, man, I thought it was a great game by the boys, right? But politics, right? We'll say, and hey, look, you got to take your hat off to the guy. He's an exceptional player. I just think that they got over big time because of a dirty play, not because of just a foul or a hack or pulling of the jersey or whatever that happens in every game for everybody. I'm talking about you possibly trying to end the guy's career or end the guy's season because he's going up for a layup and you're yanking at his legs, trying to pull him down so he can basically hurt himself because you're frustrated. You can't have that, man. You can't have stuff like that. And so for me, that's why I look at it like it's kind of hard to really respect them for that. Because that's a really, really dirty way to win. But yeah, so listen. So look, I'm gonna have my show coming out. I'm definitely gonna do my show after the game on Sunday. So please come through and check it out. All right. But that's my quick lunchtime hitter. Tough loss for them boys, 125, 114. Hopefully we'll get it back Sunday. All right. So please come through and check out my live show after. All right. That's my show. I'm LV Live. Please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button, people. Right. Also, too, if you're watching this on a replay, right, please leave comments. But also, too, please subscribe. All right. That's my show. And I'm out of here, people. Per